happening at the national levels in a lot of countries. And so I'm looking at you, Europe, and I'm looking at parts of Asia, not all of it, but some parts, and I'm looking at my own country, and probably going to be looking south of the equator once this all shifts down there and picks up during their fall and winter. At any rate, because these things aren't happening, that means that we have a call to action here that we have to think about. So this was a letter from Italy. It came off of Twitter, and here's the link for that again. I'll have the links all posted here. Please share. I am writing to you from Bergamo, Italy, at the heart of the coronavirus crisis. The news media in the U.S. has not captured the severity of what's happening here. I'm writing this post because each of you today, not the government, not the school district, not the mayor, each individual citizen has the chance today to take actions that will deter the situation in Italy, but this will be other countries too, from becoming your own country's reality. The only way to stop this virus is to limit contagion. Yep, you got to stop the spread. We have to flatten the curve. We have to do this. We've got to limit the contagion to give our health care system a chance to stay on top of this. And the only way to limit contagion is for millions of people to change their behavior today. That's it, right? That's it. Millions of people have to change their behavior today. Not easy, but we can do it. And it begins with you, it begins with me, it begins with us. If you are in the Europe or the US, you are weeks away from where we are today in Italy. I can hear you now. It's just a flu. It only affects old people with preconditions. There are two reasons why coronavirus brought Italy to its knees. First, it is a flu, and is devastating when people get really sick. They need weeks of ICU. And second, weeks of ICU. Weeks. 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks in the ICU. So not only do they occupy the beds, but for a long time, and that's just, it's horrible. And second, because of how fast and effectively it spreads. There is a 2-week incubation period, and many who have it never show symptoms. That's a problem. When Prime Minister Conte announced last night the entire country, 60 million people, would go on lockdown, the line that struck me most was, there is no more time. Because to be clear, this national lockdown is a Hail Mary. What he means is that if the numbers of contagion do not start to go down, the system, Italy, will collapse. Why? Today the ICUs in Lombardy are at capacity, more than capacity. They have begun to put ICU units in the hallways. If the numbers do not go down, the growth rate of contagion tells us there will be thousands of people in a matter of a week, 2 weeks, who will need care. What will happen when there are 100 or 1,000 people who need the hospital and only a few ICU places left? So let me back this up. The only way to stop this virus is to limit contagion. Period. And the only way to limit contagion is for millions of people to change their behavior today. This is our challenge. We have to flatten the curve. It means that we need to take it upon ourselves and not wait for official authorities to get out there and tell people the things they need to do to either not contract the disease or to not spread it, or to really slow down the spread of this whole thing. Because as soon as you get to the boom stage, there's nothing left you can do. So case, cluster, boom. We have to take it upon ourselves to try and halt it, even before we get to the cluster stage. If we're already there, halt it at the boom stage. Even if we're in the boom stage, do everything we can to not be individually contributing to more of that happening. And the balancing act right now, some of this is going to fall on us at this point in time because the authorities have already dropped the ball. They're way too late to the game. By the time they catch up bureaucratically, politically, it's it'll take weeks and months still. So there's lots that's going to be done. This is going to call us to greatness, people. This is really our challenge to either rise to this or not. And I'm really hoping, and I'm trust that many of us, it's going to bring out the best in a lot of people. But this is it. It's the real deal. It's deadly serious at this point in time, and we need to flatten the curve. And the only way we can do that is by we need to get that R0 as low as we possibly can. So a lot of these non-pharmaceutical interventions right here, this falls on us right now. Don't wait for the official quarantine. Start your own self-isolation as much as you can. Markets, of course, are